Welcome, week 6, season 41, Tuesday night, Heffron Park. And I am today's host, filling in for Paul Craft, Alexi Kalis. It's great to be with you. And of course, I am joined by a man who is so busy, he only has a chance to go to the coffee shop 8 days a week. That is, of course, Mr. John Sunday. Good evening,
Lexi.
good morning, John. And a man who only drinks the purest of water, sits on the sideline, does a wonderful job commentating. That is, of course, Vaughan McVilly. Is that gin
G'day,
or is that
lads.
is
That's
that
water.
gin?
That is that
That's it.
beautiful. Oh, yeah, look at that.
Look at that
How are
beautiful
we? What a
Tasmanian
week it's
water.
been. Whew.
Our week, well, the
Oh,
fastest week ever at Heffron
Yes,
Park, I believe. I mean, normally
UKOM records.
we talk about the win most weeks or the numbers or how close the race was, but surely the biggest thing to come out of that, after 41 seasons, we had our fastest ever. Is it not only was it lap or race?
No,
Fill me in, gents.
fastest 15 laps recorded. I think off the top of my head, 39 minutes and 23 seconds on Strava. KOM Jack Bennett at an average of bang on 48k an hour. And that is,
unbelievable.
I mean, that is quick. That is really quick. And considering that at 5:30 before the race started, the wind was up, that northeasterly was gusting at like 35k an hour. And then miraculously at 6 o'clock from then on, it just diminished. And we couldn't even, the flags weren't even moving. And
No.
that is very, very unusual for Tuesday night at Heffron Park, isn't it?
So
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
48 kilometers an hour over, was it, do they do 16 laps or 15?
15.
15.
15 laps at 48k an hour. Ouch.
Yep.
Well,
That's
I would
Big.
challenge anybody to go down to Heffron on your own and time yourself over one lap, and I guarantee you won't get near 39,
Yeah.
let
and
alone 48.
for the statisticians, how quick is one lap? So a 48 kilometer an hour lap, what is that? Like how quick were they lapping? Do we know?
Yeah, two
230,
240. Yeah,
35?
235, I think was the fastest lap.
Ooh,
That is
35.
just hooting. And like B grade averaged 46.5. B grade. Like I was just absolutely gobsmacked. A grade absolutely hooting. B grade absolutely flying. It was one of those races. And again, John, handicap to perfection, mate. Like,
Well, I don't know about perfection because it didn't come together. It kind of did. A
kinda.
grade on that last lap. I just felt that they were penalised by 2 or 3 seconds. I guess that could have been the difference, but still an exciting. Hey, great to see B grade get up, and a big shout out to B grade too. Massive numbers, and I was just thinking after Tuesday night the dynamic and makeup of B grade, so just how the identity of B grade has changed so dramatically in the space of say 3 to 5 years. Whereas now that B grade, as you can see in that image behind you, Vaughan, is just dominated by Centennial Park and what's the guys in blue with the black
Well, I can't
Hydraplay?
remember. I can't remember what I
Yeah.
can't remember what that's.
Yeah, like they just dominated, and then throw in the Ramwick guys and a few
Yep.
other sort of micro teams, and yeah, for how many numbers? 41 starters, 37 finishes. They only lost
37.
four riders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I find actually very quickly going back to the fast, it's very good that it's also Jack Bennett who holds that record for the fastest lap, given the number of times he's won the point series. But when you look at the B grade race on Tuesday, it was almost like teams were taking their turns to set the pace. And I'm sure Vaughan will go into this very shortly, but it started with Hydraplay setting the pace very early on. Then Centennial Park kind of took over mid race. And then it was kind of the collection of all the other riders to finish it off at the end. I mean, it was pretty well set up. And the fact that, yeah, they got there at the end and what did you say? 46.5k an hour?
Yep. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was amazing. That's exactly what happened too, mate. So we obviously we haven't had the B grade haven't had a win, right? So like it was sort of getting, how what do we do? How do we make this happen? Tommy Hyde jumped on the old Facebook to me on Monday and said we're going all in. We've got 5 guys starting. I'm like, we're going all in too, mate. And so I loved it, to be honest. I was really chuffed that Juan got second because Centennial Park rode a beautiful race. They worked really, really hard with our guys, but then they also nailed their lead out unbelievably well with 2 laps to go. But yeah, so the Hydraplayers, my lads, and those lads, they just churned all night. And then yeah, you had some of the guys from Randwick starting to kick in. Obviously, some of the other East guys started to kick in, and so suddenly you just had this big train. So they were just able to keep that pressure, and they did that thing where normally at 3 laps to go, it dies down.
They sit up and wait.
Yeah. And this last week they just or this week, sorry, they just kept it going. You saw, the 2 Robs from our team, Pommy Rob and Aussie Rob, come to the front with 3 laps to go, and I think it was Andrew Jacobs from CPAC and one of their other riders, can't remember who it was. They came to the front with 3 laps to go and just went, no, we need to drive it now, and that's probably what did it. The other thing that happened at around 3 laps to go is, and there's a good picture of it, Alexi, is 3 boys got off the front of A grade. I think it was Edwin, Dan Bonello, and one other. And so they were off the front of A grade, and then it was a little bit of someone sat up, and it was a little bit of
decision when they
a little bit of indecision, and so that probably cost them, as you said, John, maybe 2 or 3 seconds. And then obviously, if you look at where Jack and Ollie were sprinting, it's right in the middle of the B grade.
Oh yeah, that was it's not not to my liking because it is very hefty. You see Ollie's video, which is super dramatic and super high energy, but I mean we were very fortunate that everyone went home apart from Neo. Unfortunately, he had a bit of a tumble early in the race, all on his own.
I think when you view Ollie's video, though, you would say, well, yes, it looks pretty sketchy. They're probably only 2 of 3 riders. You probably only want...
it's not like there's 10 going through the bunch, yeah.
But also, if you were going to say anyone was going to do it, you'd probably want Oli Penney, Jack Bennett, and probably Kurt Eather. Would be the 3 riders you'd say, look, if you're going to do that, you have to be these 3 riders. Otherwise, just sit up, let the race go. It's over. B grade of 1, and you can roll in for your other places because it's only those guys with that experience.
When you look at that Strava KOM, you see Jack Andre Dubier on Tuesday night. He was 1 second behind Cam Fazer from Tuesday night. And then you got to go back to Kurt Eather in 2022, Rowan Hayden Smith, 2022. And, of all people, Dave Evans from 2022. So in that top 10 of fastest times, there's only 4 from Tuesday night, but they've certainly nudged it up a 0.3 of a K. So it's quite an achievement.
Yeah, I'd also think probably a few of those riders now thinking, besides Jack, though, and Andre, I suppose the others, because they then did sit up, won't qualify for that top 10. Oh, costly. Otherwise, they would have been racing to their Garmins and quickly trying to upload to Strava to get themselves in the top 10. Oh, that's brutal. But I tell you what, when you look at that top 3, so we had Jacobson in first. I believe it was his debut race.
Yes, it was. Gabriel, he'd entered last year, his very first time, but that particular week that he'd entered was rained off, was cancelled, and he never came back until Tuesday night, riding for the Rauland development team, which is a sort of partner team to East Cycling Club, run by Colin Ironmonger. He made the trip up from the Illawarra, first race, and comes out a winner. And, that's not a very common thing, to turn up to your first Tuesday night. Obviously, he can't sprint because he put more than a length or 2 into second place as Wanhee Lee. And my God, no, I mean Wanhee Lee. So what a great ride from him. He has just gone from strength to strength in the space of 6 weeks.
Yep.
And then behind one, he was Ash Bennett Freeman, who, by the way, had won the last time B grade 1, which was at the end of last season.
Yeah, and I can give you
only edging out Ethan Huang in 4th.
Yep.
And then you obviously had Harvey Challenor.
Yeah.
Harvey. Well done, Harvey. And was talking to his father.
Who did all the work, no doubt, during the race.
After the race.
I don't reckon he did anything.
Well, no.
I think he slingshotted him there at the
end.
end.
Made a good point. Is to come. It's such a big bunch in B grade, and you've got to be able to do your turns. And I think Harvey's proved that as he's progressed over the last 2.5 seasons, coming up through C grade. and now he's competitive. Top 5 overall, and in a B grade win. It's just goes to show it can be done. And so, all you young riders out there, just do your work, and it'll pay off.
Yeah, just on Big Ash Bennett Freeman. So obviously I got his data. So he did nearly the same. He probably is a little bit down on that sprint where he won last time. So from the bottom of the hairpin to the finish line, it's about a 28-second effort. He averaged 867 watts, so a massive amount of watts, right? But then have a look at that side video that you've put up on Facebook of the finish line, and the gap between him and Juan and Gabe is massive. Gabe's pop out when he opened his sprint, his acceleration was absolutely phenomenal. I think Juan was coming, starting to catch him towards the end, but Gabe Jacobson that was just a fantastic sprint by him.
So
is he a trackie or what's his
track development? Development, junior track star. I think he's a recipient or a nominee of the Illawarra Sports Academy Athlete of the Year. So can ride. But just remember, Gabe, there's a little bit of a protocol at Tuesday Night Heffron. It's not written in stone, but it's there when you're in the race. And keep a nice straight line and be safe. I know it's your first time, but fit in and it'll pay off.
Because the thing is,
gentle.
He gets all the way to the end there, because that bunch on the last lap must have been about 50-odd riders strong. Because if you had 41 B graders finishing, most of them still would have been in the main bunch. You still had some from C grade who were hiding amongst them. So, 50-odd riders, his first race, he's still got the confidence there to sit up there at the front, guide himself there, and then blow everyone away in the sprint. That's pretty impressive.
And like quite a few C graders, and well done to Bryce. Bryce has been knocking at the door for the last few weeks. It was a good sprint by him.
Great result from him.
Yep.
Then you had Will Hope Jones in second for C grade, and Liam Denver in third.
Well, Liam's first race back, I think, this season, and so it was good to see him.
And then, of course, in fourth.
And finishing third, yeah. And who was fourth? Look who was fourth in C grade.
Yeah, Hannah Giannati, finishing ahead because there was because Lucy Allen. That's right. She ended up finished. She finished. They were kind of, those two were battling it out.
Yep.
But unfortunately, in the women's comp, trying to think.
Amanda Poulsen was our fastest.
Amanda was. She was still in the front group, or further up in that B grade group. So another strong ride from her. So she's really settled in.
Mate, just on Amanda Poulsen, that was one hell of a ride, because she pulled turns all night. My boys were going, holy hell, she's strong. And I can't remember where she finished across the line, John. But
24th. So 24th. Top 25.
Yeah.
Top 25 across the line.
Yeah.
And she's finishing with guys like Rich Brooks. And Big Rich is a bit of a horse.
She finished ahead of Robbie Allen on the night.
Robbie was most probably looking after his knee, so it's suggest.
Oh no, he was cooked. He did so much. Those two Robs did so much work. Both the Pommy Rob and they were absolutely cooked from trying to keep the pace.
She's finishing. She's one place behind Jupiter. Stu Holder. He's not a familiar face at Tuesday Night Racing. This is his first race, and been in Sydney a while, from New Zealand, bro. And he loved it, and he can ride too. So she's finishing with very, very good company.
So top three female on night was first Amanda Poulsen, second Hannah Giannati, and third Lucy Allen.
And they were the three finishers. And if you look through Richard's photos, there's the delightful photos in Richard's gallery of the girls on the line in C grade. So if there are any more girls out there who want to come race on Tuesday night, come and join us.
Absolutely.
There's a spot for you.
When we look at that, just continuing to focus on B grades for a moment, Luke Cruikshank as well. He did a lot of work, and I think he was one of the first riders who made that bridge across. When they caught C grade, there was 4 or 5 who came through. He was on the front driving. I know, looking through he was working super well. And I think it's probably one of those things, you almost look down to the bottom of the B grade finishes to know who were the early workhorses in the race. because
Look, what I will say is,
Alan
Luke
Smith
did
was up there as well.
Oh
You know,
yeah, Big
obviously
Al
setting.
did a massive amount of turns as well. The what was like Niall during the race, during the commentary, I was saying, watch out for Niall, the flying mullet, because normally he's doing, the massive pulls, the massive turns. He did no turns. He was sitting mid and unbeknownst to everyone else, did have a quiet chat to him before the race. He goes, I'm actually thinking about sitting on for a bit this time round and then actually launching and going really hard towards the end. I reckon he must have got hung up because he didn't get to open his sprint, and he's obviously super duper strong. He ended up finishing 14th. But it just shows you how hard and how fast that was. And then again, I'll just repeat that just chap over Centennial Park, because my boys, we stuffed that up royally. If you look at that photo behind you, John, I got 3 guys in the top 11, which is a bit of a disgrace from a team perspective. However, we rode the perfect race up until about 2 laps to go, and then we had found ourselves sprinting against each other, which I don't know how that happened, but we'll learn from that. But yeah, Centennial Park were just absolutely too good, and but just not good enough to beat a young little whippersnapper like Gabe.
Well,
incredible sprint on him.
Yeah.
There was someone else in B grade that I wanted to mention. You mentioned Luke Cruikshank. Yeah, well done, Luke. Yeah, one of your better finishes. But also in the mix there was Greg Rule.
Yeah.
41st season of Heffron. Still
30th.
riding
Yeah,
B grade and in amongst it.
I reckon we might need to sign him on the team.
It's just the power of having the East presidency on your shoulders there. Just gives you those few extra watts, makes you, move up. But I mean, that's the funny thing though. When you talk about your poor team performance on Tuesday night there, Vaughan, I think when you look though down the list though of how hard that last lap was, because you look at where some of those riders finished, like Hugo Coquard only managed 10th, Grant Holbert in 9th. Luke Cromer in 16th, Philip Taff, who were all there at the front, 17th, Richard Brooks, 18th. Like they are all solid riders who are often right up there in the top 10, who were finding themselves pushed down into 10th and 20th place, almost like a bunch of nobodies. Just absolutely just cannon fodder on the night. So it just shows you how quick that. And Niall won again. Another huge night of racing for him. He ends up 14th. So obviously,
speaking of the flying mullet, of course, we had another flying mullet.
Yes,
Yanni.
Yanni. Obviously Yanni is quite an accomplished rider, and his first time at Heffron, and opted to settle in, start in C grade, see how you go, and just get a feel for it. Remember, Yanni, it's a handicap. Just ride to the pattern of the race in the opening laps. Was it second or third lap in?
Oh, I liked it. I thought it was a good move by Yanni. Did he make it to the finish? I don't see him on the finish, or unless he was.
Yeah, he got found out.
He got found out. Yeah, that's it.
He sort of misjudged that one.
That's right. He thought, here we go. He looks great. I love the big hair, the bright orange jersey.
The pink tie bike.
Welcome to Tuesday Night here from Yanni, and hope we see a lot more of you and your mullet.
That's right. There seem to be a few riders as well moving up and down the grades, I've noticed, John. Daniel Cholob, he came back down to C. He's kind of realised
Daniel's been bringing his son Sebastian down. He's been in C grade, and of course, last time Daniel, when he lived in Sydney, they come down from Newey.
Yeah.
I asked Jonathan Farley. I wasn't sure whether Jonathan was coming down each night from Newcastle, and excuse me, but I think of it as Newcastle. I said, Jonathan, are you driving down? Yeah, from Ewing, mate, from Ewing. So Daniel was coming down with a son, and last time he was in Sydney, he was riding B grade and started 2 or 3 races in B grade, but I think he was much more comfortable.
I think that was a fair call, and I could be wrong, but did Nico Love race a few races?
Nico's had a sore ankle, hadn't ridden for a couple of weeks, and suggested to him he might be better off riding with some of his teammates in B grade. And I think the team benefited from that too.
Yep. He definitely
still
did
had
a lot of
race. Crossed the line in 6th spot, just off out of the top 5.
Yeah.
And so just going to A grade. I mean, A grade is hard. I mean, Charlie Paul with his 2 impressive B grade wins in the past fortnight, earned the promotion. But it's not easy, is it, Charlie? It's they don't let you in. Got to remember that these guys race week in, week out, and there's a pattern, there's a protocol, there's a hierarchy, and it takes a while just to fit into that and prove that you can do it. So
it was
sticks out.
interesting. His numbers compared to last week weren't that different. So his output was actually about the same as the previous week. So he didn't actually work too much harder, but obviously he just couldn't move up.
Yeah, just couldn't move up.
He was just getting,
it's really tough, Like
Well,
once again,
who's moving up at 48k an hour average? Like, you just imagine how quick they're going down the straight, so that cancels that out.
Yeah.
Then the rest of the way, good God.
And then the other thing also is the guys with the experience that have been doing it year after year, they know when and how to move up. And the newer riders are still trying to work all that out. But in A grade, 27 starters, they only lost 3 riders, 24 finishes, I think. Luke Schofield had a puncher. Someone else had a puncher too. And then of course Neo decided to put himself out of the race early in the race.
Fair enough. Decided to check out the trees. I think what's concerning for those A grade, Richie Lang is moving up through the field now. I think his last couple of races,
he's settled in, hasn't he?
I think he's
really
DNF'd his first 2.
Look out!
Come back, and now he's back in. He's finishing 9th, slowly moving his way up the field. Julie, you must be so refreshed, Vaughan, with that Hydraplay. So he's certainly moved over. And Alex Naz. He's also starting to make the odd appearance back. He's obviously thinking long term. He's thinking point score series. Although I will note that he wasn't able to follow the decisive move there at the end when I watched Oli Penney's video.
Well, you can see Naz's wheels in the frame, can't you?
Fatherhood has been costly for Naz. Too much time in the bike shop, not enough time riding his bike. But I think he's obviously just got to get more aero, like his aero helmet. He's got the special wheels. He's got the pinner. I don't know what else he can do, but
not sure. No one's 100% sure about Naz's wheels, but anyway,
he's doing well. But look, so he was up there, and Willie Heff was back again as well.
Willie Heff. But I think the A grade results aren't indicative of the A grade race because, like you said, because there's something like 45 plus riders to get through, there's only going to be 2 or 3 sprinting for the points. And as it turns out, that was Oli, who just narrowly, and I mean narrowly, we needed to go to Commissaire Robbins' right angle video to capture that. And it's no more than the width of a tyre. Andre Dubier, another good ride from him, can finish, can ride. So no surprises to see him in 3rd. And then, of course, our man from Girona, Bon, Dan Bonello in 4th, and Riyadh, another good ride by Riyadh.
Another good ride,
Strong man, Riyadh. Riyadh can do anything, man. He can climb mountains, climb buildings, ride bikes. So Riyadh, do a triathlon, which he has. He'll just do it.
So I suppose with that, we will move to, of course, the most, glorious and most respected award that goes out in Sydney cycling.
Well, it is.
The Char Grill Charlie's Rider of the Week.
Yeah, well.
Wow. To be honest,
I've got one. I got one straight after the race.
Vaughan. Okay,
I can kick it off. So as we're getting ready, we're setting up, a rider rolls up next to me and says, "Oh my God, I don't know. Should I go back to C grade or should I keep going? Should I keep trying to hang out in B grade?" And I said, "You're so close. You're getting, like, last week was really windy. Just keep hanging tough. You're going to get there." And that was Amanda Poulsen. And then she hung tough. She pulled turns all night and she got first woman. I think
I thought that was Scott Law.
Oh yeah, I think she was definitely questioning herself before the start of the race. Then to do what
I think she does that every week.
Yeah. And then to win. So
quite a few riders do that every week.
Yeah,
I'm feeling good today.
Yeah, I'm going to put Amanda Poulsen in because I think she's been, she's the only girl the last couple of weeks in B grade. Lily Fassan was there last week. And to do that, I think is a fantastic effort. And she's a vegetarian, so it's not going to cost Charlie too much.
Well, that's a good call, Vaughan. I was going to go with Gabe Jacobson, first time at Heffron, and convincing caps off a B grade win. But we haven't had, we haven't had a woman female rider of the week. So you've convinced me, Vaughan, and I've been impressed with Amanda's tenacity, especially from week one when she started in B grade, and or just I think she was gone in 2 or 3 laps. But just her, commitment, and certainly that was a very impressive performance. So she gets my vote as well.
Awesome.
There's something other they say. Well, look,
Chairman of the board.
That's it. Well, look, I like the fact that Gabriel Jacobson, first week in, very impressive. Look, he's not going to get right of the week, but it has been remiss of us not to talk about him for the last couple of weeks, and that is young Joshua Westmoreland, who, when we often say, the young female riders, they're small, they're very petite, and they'll get blown around by the wind, and then Joshua turns up. And the man literally weighs the same weight as my bidon. He's like when
he's
people
about
say
the same. He's about the same height as where your bidon sits on the bike as well.
And also, it's almost one of those things where you go, the bike's bigger than him. No, in his case, it literally is. He's kind of riding. He's there. So full credit to John. He also finished and was hanging tough in the bunch there on Tuesday night. The young junior. As he is riding, he just blows me away because he's just so small. And like when he pedals, his bike's heavier than him. So it kind of moves along with him, just like the whole way around the track. So look, it wasn't rider of the week, but I tell you what, it was a pretty good performance.
That's
earned him some credit.
That's a good mention, Alexi. And he's only ridden 3 races, and I remember seeing his name on the entry list a few weeks ago, and I thought, Westmoreland, that's Richard Westmoreland, has been around for many years, and I thought, maybe that's Rich. And then, of course, I get there that night, and I see Richard, and standing next to him is this little Joshua with his little squeaky voice. But he's been doing really well.
Look, he's probably one of the only riders to get ID checked on the start line as well. But Vaughan, sorry, I interrupted.
I was going to say, well, I'll tell you what we'll do is every week we should have the best young rider, and for the best young rider, they can get a 4-pack of Hydraplay. So, Josh, come and see me next week, and I'll get you a 4-pack of the best little hydration drink on the planet.
That's a nice gesture, best young rider of the week. Because reflecting on the last 6 weeks, I've just been impressed with the number of new young riders, and as I said before, how the dynamic and personality of B-graded change. So has the number of new riders. We had Charlie Smith, we got Willow Jones. All these guys are finishing as well. And then Daniel Chalard's son, Sebastian,
and Gabe.
Then, Gabe, yeah, and not to forget our
there was like Anna Dubier as well. Hannah they'd also fall into it.
Hannah and Lucy, and our senior young riders. Let's not forget them, Benny Coates and Lucas Stevenson.
Yes.
Because 2 years ago they were like Benny Coates was coming down to Heffron when he was 13, sitting on the sideline. I want to get out there. I want to get out there. I want to get out there. And now look where he is. It just goes to show.
And Challenor as well.
Yeah, young Harvey. He's impressed and grown so much. So it just goes to show, if you want a cycling career on the world stage,
mate, it'll be at Tuesday Night Heffron. Yep.
But
it's good that Harvey Challenor that also just drags around his dad, because Ant-Man just really needs a lot of help these days. So Harvey.
Ant-Man doesn't do enough riding by his own admission.
So those riders have ridden well, but our rider of the week, so it just shows you how many people have gone into the mix, thinking about it, into the cauldron there, spinning it around. But it is the young accountant. She's going to put this in the credit ledger, in her little budget spreadsheet. Amanda Poulsen, you are our rider of the week.
Well done. Go and buy yourself a salad.
Vegetarian burger.
She's going to get the veggie burger and a nice side of green salad. So well done, Amanda. Very well deserved on, well, one of the fastest nights of B grade. What was it, 46 and a half?
Yep.
And she finished right up there. So that was super impressive riding by her. With that, we normally go to Spurge's last lap, but this week it was Robin Sprouster who was given the authority to ring the
On the
bell.
bell, and a good job she did too.
She did a very good job, got it right, picked the right lap, and run it with a good amount of strength.
I reckon
they have to go. A grade is closing so quickly. They have to go now. They get the bell now. A grade still with work to do. I still think that's about 10 or 15 seconds more. So A grade desperately trying to close the gap down. Dan Vanello is looking around. He's getting some help there from Will Far. So again, they still need to close down 10 or so seconds on this final lap. Edwin Brits, he's done his work.
So on Robin's last lap, reminder, we've only got 2 more handicap races. So there's only 3 races in December. And the first part of Tuesday Night Heffron season 41 comes to a close. So we got
almost
the 4th.
Teary at the thought.
Yeah, we got the 4th and the 11th of December. Is that right? Or was it the 4th and the 10th?
Yeah,
the 3rd and 10th. Don't know what the dates are.
So what is the last? So the last one.
Oh, the 2nd of. Sorry. Here we go. We got the 2nd of December and the 9th of December as the 2 remaining handicap races. And then on the 16th, we have the, wait for it, 42nd East Trophy race.
Ooh, wow.
20 laps for A grade and nominated B graders who would like to try their luck. Won last year by Brad Mills on a very windy night, as we'll all remember.
That's right. Wow. There you go. Look, he could still make the start line. I think he was there rolling around on Tuesday night.
Oh, he was. Yeah, he made it down the straight in his wheelchair, hanging on to his seat post.
Look, anything can happen. He could do a Bradbury.
Exactly.
So anything else to add? Obviously, entries are now open for.
Yeah, certainly are on Buncher. Get your entries in, guys. Don't be ringing me at 3:00 on a Tuesday afternoon. Sort your stuff out.
I think, particularly if you're a B grader, I think you've got to get your entries in because there will become a time where they're just going to go that grade, they're full.
Yep,
you're going up. You don't go down. If you enter late, you go up a grade. So all of a sudden, we could see 50 people in A grade and 40, and then 30 riders in the second lap in A grade. So want to get your entries in there. The juniors are riding super well. I think weather looks all right. I think we now go into that warmer patch.
It certainly is. Warm and fast. My last comment, Alexi, is just talking through your image selection with the orange flash over your shoulder.
Oh, yeah. There was a photo. I think Richard's driven there. Look at it. It's just a massive group, and then you're just there hiding away, rolling along.
Actually, you should lean to your right, and then you're in the same. Yeah, that's it. Right. You're in the same angle. That's right. You should have done the whole podcast leaning into the corner.
Gee, is that the photo I chose? Gee, that's unlow. There we go. What a random. How did that happen? But no, look, it was another great racing. We really do enjoy Richard's photos every week.
Unreal. They're fantastic.
He's just this way. He's just they are just he captures everyone.
Once again, shout out to the crew from East that make it all possible. The St. John's Ambulance, the photographers, and the spectators. Another great night on the sidelines. So thanks for everybody coming down. Keep it up, and 3 weeks to go.
I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing some corporate Christmas parties down there on a Tuesday night. It's the whole office. So. You can see the whole of KPMG.
I can see a corporate entertainment area being set aside and sold off.
That's right. For Cash, Haralambus Properties are probably already eyeing that real estate and working out how they can do it.
That's probably hard.
Sydney City Skoda, they'll be parked up in the car park there with all their cars. Everyone down there watching.
It's going to be like a Belgian 6-day carnival.
Exactly.
My last little lap comment is we need to shout out because I know someone who's training a little bit, John, who I am just trying to coax out of sort of semi-retirement or full retirement. One Mr. CJ Sutton has asked me to make him a skin suit. And I'm like, ooh, CJ, back to Tuesday night Heffron. So
well,
come on,
CJ,
CJ. He watches the
entry in
potty.
for the
He loves
trophy
it.
race.
Exactly.
Get
Come
your,
on.
yeah, get your
Come
entry
on.
in. We'll see if we can get Caleb down there on the trophy race as well.
Because if you actually go back into your memory vault, he would have been one of the first riders to be actually wearing a skin suit in a UCI just normal stage race. When he was riding with Team Sky, they were kind of the first team to bring in. And I remember he told a story once at an event where he was saying, like, they were almost laughing at him at the start line, going, "What are you doing? Like, it's just a normal stage race. Why are you wearing a skin suit?" And now look at them all. So he was a trendsetter then, started when he was racing in Heffron. He took it to the World Tour, and now, well, it'll be great to see him back, mixing it up. Look, probably starting B grade first week. He's had a bit of time off, and then he can maybe make his way up to C grade, up to A grade.
Good luck KOM hunting this weekend, CJ.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, with that, we look forward to. See you next Tuesday.
You.
Follow 349.